Mga siklista, ako nga pala si Mr. Mel Aquino at nandito tayo ngayon sa bagong edisyon ng Motorsiklo News Talk Show. Kasama ko ngayon ang isa sa mga pinagmagaling na babaeng rider sa motorcycle riding racing scene. Siya po ay nanalo ng Backbone 130cc category sa IR Cup. Walang iba kundi si Miss Jack Bunsho.
Hi!
Hi, Jack.
Thank you, Mel.
Hi, kamusta?
Okay lang, fine.
So, this is your first time to host a motorcycle talk show?
First time to host.
At syempre mga siklista, no? Si Jack ay makakasama natin sa isang buong episode ng Motorsiklo News Magazine Talk Show. So marami tayong mag-uusapan ngayong araw na ito. Meron tayong mga club feature, meron tayong mga motorcycle feature, mga bagong motor na ilalabas sa market, at mga kung ano-ano pa. So ready ka na ba?
Ready?
Ready na?
Ready.
Ready. So sit back.
Relax.
And enjoy the show!
Monster Day 2015. Ducati staged a full event at the Rockwell Power Plant Mall in Makati City. The event was titled Monster Day 2015, and it was a huge success attended by well-known personalities and motorcycle enthusiasts all over the country. MotoGP racer Andrea Renon was present in the event and signed the raffle of helmets to the attendees. The event race was a testament to how monstrous Ducati motorcycles can be, for everyone around were at awe. The red was everywhere and people felt how awesome it was. We look forward to the next Monster Day event, and thanks to Access Plus and Ducati for this monstrous day.
Mga siklistas, ako nga pala si Mr. Mel Aquino and we're here at the Industry News. Together with me is Mr. George Lin of TECO and Mr. Roberto P. Alingog, the President of Ropali Group of Companies. So, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon sa inyo.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, so what is TECO? What is the background of TECO? What are the features or the products that are carrying by TECO?
TECO Group was established in 1956, almost 60 years now. We started from electrical motor manufacture. Currently, we are ranking number 3 in the world as industrial electrical motor manufacturer in the world. We also have product of home appliances, electronics, telecommunication devices, software, and also we do big investment. For example, one of the biggest BOT project in the world a couple of years ago was the Taiwan high-speed rail project. TECO was the one of the first 5 founders.
Right now, Sir Roberto, Ropali is known as a motorcycle dealer for any kind of motorcycle Japanese manufacturer. So we have Urals, we have the Royal Enfield, we have the KTM. What about the new product that's going to be distributed by Ropali?
Well, we're very glad that we were tapped by TECO to be their local partner to distribute the electric vehicles, notably electric e-trikes. There is a paradigm shift in the industry. The world is clamoring for people to address climate change, and e-trike is one of the solutions that is being pushed. So Ropali is very happy that we become part of the solution to a worldwide problem.
How can we sell the e-trike to a standard motorcycle, tricycle operator? How do we shift them to the e-trike?
First, we convince them that they should do their part in alleviating the problem of air pollution. Second is we will make it easy for them, meaning they can pay back the amortization of their tricycles just by the reduction of their cost in operating an internal combustion engine than an electrical one. So in effect, they can get the e-trike for free. On top of that, we will give livelihood for their spouses so that they become a double income household.
Sir, how does TECO and Ropali started this partnership?
We are very lucky through the introduction from the former President Ramos. We are honorable to get to know Ropali because they are the people who really knows the local market. And we are responsible to make sure the product quality is good, production is good, and they take up the sales and marketing side. So this is a perfect match.
Ciclistas, once again, we are here at Industry News together with Mr. Roberto Pialingog, the president of Ropali, a group of companies, and Mr. George Lien of TECO, the CEO. So until next week for the new Industry News. Thank you very much. See you around. Ciclistas, ako nga pala si Mr. Mel Aquino at nandito tayo ngayon kasama ang motorcycle safety advocate, isang TV commercial model ng isang leading battery. Ayan. At syempre, siya rin po ay isang napakagaling na racer. Walang iba, the only one, Miss Love Choseco.
Good afternoon, mga viewers, and thank you, Mel, for inviting me to your show.
And thank you rin, Ma'am Love, for coming here in our show.
For you, anytime, all the time.
Wow, thank you very much. So right now, Ma'am, we are having this event. This is the National Motorcycle Convention. So ano po yung pinakabuong title nito, Ma'am?
Actually, makikita niyo sa poster natin, no, medyo ginawang Spanish para iba ang dating comparing to the previous motorcycle National Motorcycle Convention. No? It's called the Gran 21 Convention Nacional, meaning it's the 21st National Motorcycle Convention which would be held at Tagaytay City. So,
malamig doon, di ba?
Exactly.
So, tama-tama, pwede nyo isama yung mga backride nyo, ha? Anong date po ito?
Actually, the date of the event will be on April 10, 11, 12. So, it's a weekend after Holy Week.
Wow.
Kaya naging lang to dito, nakasabi, April 6 to 12. Kasi po, ang Tagaytay City, ginawa po ni Tagaytay Mayor na parang, na Motorcycle Week sa Tagaytay.
So mag-i-start ang Motorcycle Week sa Tagaytay, mga ciclistas, on April 6 at matatapos to ng April 12.
That's right.
Okay, so ano-ano ba ang mga i-expect ng mga riders natin dito?
Well, aside from our Mel Aquino, no? Ikaw kasi ay you'll be leading one of the
Guinness Book of World Record attempt to break.
Kaya pasensya na si Mother Nature for a while, no?
For a while, kasi burning tires muna ito eh. So, I'm also inviting all the riders na yung mga interesado, mag-register lang po kayo then para makasama kayo officially as a representative of this feat that we're going to do.
That's right, Mel. At saka meron rin tayo po, syempre, mga display of different motorcycle brands.
Okay.
Mga big bike at saka mga small bike.
Small bikes.
Yes, by the way, welcome ang mga big and small bike. Ang nag-umpisa na ipagsama yung small and big bikes, yung nag-host ang Lawin Motorcyclist Club, which was founded by our very own, no? General Ray Beroya, na dating LTO chief.
Yes, of course.
Tsaka dating ASEC sa DOTC. Kasi siya rin ay isang rider.
Yes.
At naniniwala siya na, na bakit ba dinidiscriminate natin or pinaghiwalayan ng small and big bike? Kaya nga National Motorcycle Convention. So lahat ng motor
dapat magkakasama.
Yes.
And then also the camaraderie, they will experience na yung mga small bikers will be buying big bikes din di ba?
Di ba? Siyempre, yung mga iba dyan, nagsistart lang sa maliit. Katulad natin, nag-start tayo sa maliit. And
Hanggang ngayon, maliit pa rin yung dala ko.
Eventually, nag-level up. No, actually, si Mel, lahat ng motorsiklo kaya niya i-drive. And of course, we are also inviting the riders with disability. I myself, I will personally assist kung darating kayo sa event. Kasi ako rin ay isang person with disability. Ang mag-host na yon ay ang sister club ng Lawin, which is LERAP, otherwise known as the Law Enforcer Riders Association of the Philippines, founded by General Ding Pase.
Ding Pase. Ayan, Mr. Fernando P. Pase.
Yes,
to be exact.
Fernando.
Ayan,
Para Espanyol ang dating.
Espanyol. Kaya pala, Gran 21. Ayan.
See.
Bukod dun sa attempt to break the Guinness Book of World Record ng simultaneous burnouts, ano pa ba ang mga i-expect yan ng mga sikluistas natin dito sa convention?
Makikita natin, no? May concert. Of course, may raffle from our sponsors.
Yes.
And of course, we have may food and beverages booth, no?
May concerts, ha? Meron tayong tugtugan,
At saka, I think, ito yung kay Mel, stunt show.
Stunt show. So, we will expect the riders doing the stunts, but please don't do this on your own bike kasi they are done by professionals only.
Just like this guy.
Just like us. And then also we have tattoos.
Fireworks.
Fireworks display, di ba?
Of course. And much more. So,
also,
may touring.
May touring.
Tutour namin yung mga, of course, maybe galing sa Visayas, Mindanao, or the foreign delegates. We have a committee that will tour you around Batangas.
Sugbu,
in that area, no? And may track day din.
May track day din tayo.
Yes, Mel. May track day din.
Track day will be at
BRC.
BRC, Batangas Racing Circuit. So, meron din akong balita na magkakaroon din siyempre ng raffles, and then also yung pinaka-puso ng the National Convention is yung safety riding.
Of course.
Ayan.
Please lang, magsuot po kayo ng helmet at mga safety gears pagpunta nyo sa aming event.
Buckle up. Make sure kung maganda ang panahon, mag-bring pa rin kayo ng rain gear just in case.
Pwede kayo mag-camping dun sa venue.
Uy,
magbaon lang kayo ng tent.
Actually, sleeping bag nga lang ang dadaling ko dahil napakalamig sa Tagaytay, no? May campsite yata tayo ron.
That's right, Mel. Meron.
Ma'am Love, invite them to our event this coming April 6 and 12.
Okay. Sa mga fellow riders natin, welcome lahat kayo sa aming 21st National Motorcycle Convention, which will be held at Tagaytay City on April 10, 11, 12. Yun yung main nandun lahat yung main
program.
Program on that weekend. For more details about the event, just please go to our website, which is www.fmc-ph.org.
Like us on Facebook.
Makikita nyo naman pag-type nyo 21st, automatic lalabas na yun. 21st pa lang, lumalabas na
Oo nga. You can feel the camaraderie of small bike and big bike riders. Sama-sama, isang kalsada, we share the road with everybody.
That's right. Wear your safety gears and your helmet.
And always check up and maintain your motorcycles for a better and safe trip.
That's right.
My name is Mr. Mel Aquino.
And of course, this is Love at your service. Forever loving Mel.
Yes, and this is Industry News.
Good day everyone. Once again, welcome po sa ating segment ng Do-It-Yourself. Regarding po ngayon, ang di-discuss natin is chain adjustments sa ating mga motorsiklo. Kailangan nyong malaman is check for the slack. Ang slack po ay malalaman natin is kung yung chain natin is yung vertical play is around more than 1 inch to 1.5 inch. Hindi na po maganda yan, yung slack na yan. Magiging problema pagka ang chain natin laging maluwag na ganito is yung ating kadena po is may wear and tear na yan, mas madali na siyang luluwag. Ang kadena, ang ating sprocket 2 is mapupudpud dyan. Malalaman nyo ang sprocket pagka masama na is makikita nyo yan, yung edges niyan, yung mga yan, magiging matalas na. So to prevent that, kailangan lagi natin check ang ating kadena once in a while. Of course, siyempre, kailangan din natin i-lubricate yan with chain wax. So now, ngayon, ituturo ko sa inyo ang paano mag-adjust ng chain. So now, we check for the slack. Makikita nyo yung slack. Yung slack ng chain, maluwag na yan. So ngayon, one way to adjust basically sa lahat ng motor nito is basta chain driven is pare-pareho lang naman, no? So check for the slack. So pag nakita nyo na ganyan, maluwag na yan, maingay yan pag nagra-ride kayo. So ngayon, simulan natin ang pag-adjust. So first of all, luwagan muna natin ang axle nut. Ito po ang axle nut that holds the sprocket. So luwagan natin to para ma-adjust natin ang chain. Kailangan lang maluwag, not necessary lang tanggalin, no? So after maluwagan, so ang ating gagawin next is, ito makikita nyo, yung dalawang nut na yan, ito ang adjuster. Yung maliit na yon is the adjuster, itong isang malaki na to, ito po yung lock nut. Once na ma-set na natin yung proper adjustment para sa chain natin, ito na yung lock nut natin. So ngayon, i-adjust natin, hihilahin natin to, yung buong gulong paatras, para magkaroon ng tension yung kadena natin. Okay, so ganito yan. So ngayon mag-a-adjust na tayo. So yan, mapapansin nyo habang ina-adjust natin yan, makikita nyo yung chain. Magkakaroon na ng tension. Diba? So once the desired tension is made, check nyo lang once in a while. So kailangan lang mga 1 inch ang play, vertical. Pwede na yan, no? Once na naset na natin yung proper tension ng chain, ang gagawin natin ngayon is set the lock nut para mag-hold na siya sa place at hindi na siya lumuwag ulit. Okay, higpitan na natin yung adjuster natin. Ito pong lock nut. Yan. So makikita nyo yung adjustment ng ating chain is okay na. Compared kanina, malaki ang slack. Ngayon, this is the proper slack na kailangan lang natin. So kailangan naman natin is meron din konting play. Kasi pag sobrang higpit, sobrang matigas ang tension, masama rin, no? So ito is just the proper adjustment. So once na adjust na natin ang chain and then na-set na natin yung nut, yung lock nut, so it's time to tighten up the axle nut. So make sure na mahigpit ito dahil para hindi na lumuwag ulit. So now, tapos na tayo. You have properly adjusted our chain. Maganda to, i-test drive nyo and then come back and then check nyo kung nagbago yung adjustment. Pag di naman nagbago, that's good. Of course, don't forget to lubricate yung inyong chain. So sa next issue natin, sa next episode, we'll be discussing how to clean your chain or replace the chain para sa maintenance din. So for now, ito po ang ating chain adjustments. So hopefully I'll catch you next week para naman sa ating lubrication ng ating chain at pag-replace din ng chain. So see you next time. Salamat!
Mga sikliwista, ako po si Mel Aquino at ito po ang Safety Riding 101. Pag-uusapan natin ngayong episode na ito, yung tinatawag nating riding posture. Ang riding posture, ang kahalagahan nito is yung tamang posisyon sa pag-handle ng motorcycle. Kung tama ang riding posture mo, masahaba yung oras mo na ikaw ay nakaride sa motorcycle nang hindi ka mapapagod kaagad. At magiging tama ang pagkontrol mo sa motorsiklo. Ang riding posture ay meron tayong tinatawag na 7 proper riding posture. Una, ang mata. Kailangan makita natin na widely ay yung mga traffic lights, yung mga tumatawid, yung mga pedestrian, at saka kahit anong mga potential danger na po pwedeng dumaan sa kalsada or tumawid sa kalsada. Pangalawa is yung balikat. Kailangan relax at hindi masyadong stiff. Kasama na rin ang ating pangatlo ay ang ating siko. Dahil kung masyadong masikip at mahigpit ang inyong kapit sa manibela, kung hindi relax yung shoulder at yung elbow, pwedeng ma-hamper yung steering system nyo. Ganun na rin sa kamay. Ang ating kamay kailangan ay meron tayong tinatawag na 1 finger space pagdating dito sa handle grip. 1 finger space, then lagay mo yung kamay mo. Kailangan merong isang daliring pagitan para sa tamang leverage ng inyong control sa ating handlebar. Susunod na riding posture is yung bewang. Para makuha natin yung tamang riding posture, pwede kayong tumayo ng diretso sa motorsiklo. Okay? Habang naka-center stand yung motor, tayo kayo ng diretso, then upo kayo ng diretso. Hindi mo kailangan masyadong malapit, hindi mo rin kailangan masyadong malayo sa tangke. Very important po ang ating tuhod, iipitin po natin ang tangke para hindi po siya maging unstable. Ang tandaan po natin, ang riding posture natin is mostly nasa lower body po natin. Riding posture ay 7. Meron tayong mata, that's number 1. Meron tayong shoulders, meron tayong siko, meron tayong kamay, meron tayong bewang. At meron tayong pang-anim is yung tuhod, which is serve as our lower body na nakagrip tayo sa tangke. At ang pinakahuli mga kaibigan is yung ating paa. May mga riders tayo na pagka tumapak sa foot peg, lagi nakalawit yung dulo ng paa. So, lagi lang sila nakatapak ng ganyan. Ang problema ng ganitong posture, pag kailangan mo gumamit ng rear brake, baka dumaplis yung paa mo pagbalik. So, make sure nakarest yung arc ng iyong paa dito sa foot peg, tapos kino-cover nyo na kagad yung pedal. At the same time, yung ating pong cambio. Anytime, pwede kayo mag-shift kaagad. At pwede nyo magamit yung inyong gear shifting na mas efficient at na mas mabilis. Kaya mga siklista, lagi natin tandaan ang 7 riding posture. Number 1 ang mata. Pangalawa po ang balikat. Pangatlo ang ating siko. Pang-4 ang ating mga kamay. Pang-5 ang ating bewang. Pang-6 ang ating tuhod. At pang-7 ang ating paa. Pag tama ang riding posture nyo, mas kaya nyong kontrolin ng motorsiklo ng tama at mas tatagal kayo sa ride ng mas matagal. Muli po mga kaibigan, ako po si Mr. Mel Aquino. Ito pong Safety Riding Tips 101.
Sigluistas, Gene Bulag po for Self-Defense 101. Yung mga nakaraang episode po natin ay Self-Defense Instructors. Ngayon, talon po tayo sa sports category. Ang bisita ko po ngayon ay AFC, Academy Fighting Championship Veteran Fighter, URCC Challenge Fighter, King of the Cage Fighter at UKC Fighter. Ito po ay heartthrob at matani idol din ng ating MMA community. Walang iba po kung hindi si Rainier Razor Sharp Gervasio. Sir, magandang araw. Welcome sa Self-Defense 101 ng Motorcycle News Magazine. Sir, unahan ko na ng tanong ha. Paano ka na-involved dito sa mixed martial arts?
So it's way back 2008. I started watching UFC or The Ultimate Fighter, Season 8. So nainganyo ako ever since nanood ako ng UFC, way back 2008. Tapos naganap ako ng nearest gym around Cavite. Then I started learning it. And then at the end, I started competing as well.
Di ba mahirap mag-compete doon? Medyo masakit yata. Kasi parang binabalibag-balibag ka. Saka yung may parang mga lock.
Well, actually, during the trainings, you'll get used to it. So it took me like 4 to 5 months after my first, or before my first fight rather.
First month lang?
4 to 5 months.
Okay. Ito ba pwede sa lahat ng estado ng tao? Pwede sa babae, lalaki?
Yeah, actually, lahat pwede mag-enroll sa MMA, Muay Thai, or grappling. So it's a lot more useful kasi nowadays, mas kailangan natin to for self-defense, lalo na sa mga babae.
Kasi, ang special dito sa bisita natin, rider din tong si Rainier. So ito ba, pwede ba natin magamit to habang nagmamotor sa mga commuters na pumapasok sa trabaho, naglalakad sa mall? Ito ba, pwede rin i-apply sa pang real life scenario?
Yeah, actually magagamit talaga natin to. Marami ng cases ngayon kung saan there are a lot of riders na tuwing gabi, may mga humahabol sa kanila na mga riding in tandem or dalawang bikes. Tapos, hihintuan sila and then they'll try to kuhanin yung motor or get some financials.
Mukha pa naman akong kriminal, pare, pag nakita ko sa kalsada. So, after nito, magpapakita si Rainier Gervasio kung paano gawin yung parang headlock. So, abangan natin yan, ha? Welcome back, guys. Kasama ko pa rin po si Rainier Gervasio at ipapakita po natin kung paano i-apply itong rear naked choke sa real scenario.
Okay, so, pwede itong scenario na to just in case na nakasakay tayo sa motor and then ginat tayo ng isa pang vehicle or motor din. Pwede mangyari pag nag-approach natin yung driver or yung tao. Pag hinawakan tayo, for example like this, so pwede natin gamitan siya ng force na ganito. Pag tinulok natin siya pababa pag ganun, pwede natin kunin to. Pwede mo siya i-choke pag ganito para mahirapan na yung
Oo, nahihirapan ako eh. So, pwede bang pa-explain pa ulit?
So, in this case, hawak ko yung right arm nung tao, and then push ko siya on inside, and then sasalin mo siya pa ganito. And then magkakaroon ako ng force para makakuha ko ng rear naked choke.
Okay. Ito sir, kahit saan naman to, pag lalapit na ba sa'yo, kung bumaba ka sa sasakyan, o pwede rin nakatayo lang?
Pwede naman kahit nakatayo lang na ganito.
Pwede rin sa punch to, no?
Oo, pwede na. Pag nasa loob yung punch, so tendency is, yung force niya papunta, pwede mong gamitin pababag na nun.
Tama na. Alam ko na yun.
Okay. Okay.
So, sir, kung gusto nila matuto ng mixed martial arts, saan po sila pwede magpunta?
Okay, so we have a fan page and group in Facebook. You can search us as Anarchy MMA. That's ANARCHY MMA. And then you can inquire there for other information.
Okay guys, kasama ko pa rin si DJ Herbacio. Abangan niyo po yung susunod naming episode. Dito lang sa Motorcycle News Magazine Self-Defense 101.
Siklistas, ako nga pala si Mel Aquino at nandito tayo ngayon sa Featured Biker of the Week. Kasama natin ngayon si Mr. Goku Ortiz. Siya po ang General Manager ng Maiko Bunsho Foundation. Magandang araw sa iyo, Mr. Goku Ortiz.
Mas magandang lalaki ka pa sa araw na to.
At syempre. Goku, ikaw ang General Manager ng MBF. O ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng MBF?
Siyempre ang MBF stands for Maiko Bunsho Foundation. Ito ay tinatag noong 2011 after the sudden death of the fastest man in two wheels, Mr. Maiko Bunsho. I assume being the general manager in 2013, after our stint in the international racing activity, ay nakita ko yung need na kailangan may mag-handle ng foundation para ma-push through yung objective nito, yung makapag-train, makapag-develop na isang rider na magre-represent ulit sa ibang bansa katulad ni Maiko Bunsho.
Ayun, napakaganda ng objective na yan, no? So, ito yung mga batang riders ng MBF or ng Maiko Bunsho Foundation.
Kalahati pa lang yan.
Kalahati pa lang to. So, how does it feel na mag-alaga ka ng ganito karaming rider?
Actually, nung nasa isang road racing championship nga kami, sumali kami, ang sabi nga sa akin ng mga rider doon, para daw akong may daycare center.
Daycare center.
Tapos may lumapit din sa akin, sabi, Sir Goku, pwede ba ako mag-apply sa MBF? Nang tinanong ko yung edad, sabi niya, 22 na. Sabi ko, Sir, daycare center nga, hindi home for the aged.
Okay, so meron ba tayong edad na nire-required for MBF?
Actually,
ilang taon nag-i-start? Ang pinaka-early at saka hanggang saan siya nagtatapos?
Actually, last year, hindi tayo masyadong nahigpit sa edad kasi marami tayong rider na gustong tulungan. Pero this year, nagkaroon na tayo ng age bracket. Ang tuturuan na lang natin na mag-undergo ng training for free sa Maiko Bunsho Foundation is 16 years old to 9 years old.
Pakilala natin itong mga batang to. Sino-sino ba itong mga to? So, simulan natin. Ayan, sige sir, pangalan, racing number, tsaka edad.
Hi, Cicluista. I'm Lawrence Villanueva, rider number 125, 17 years old.
My name is EJ Sobretodo and my racing number is 22 and I am 13 years old.
I'm Dana Kay Alvarado, racing number 130, 15 years old.
Hi, my name is Leandro Paredes. My number is 5. I'm 9 years old.
9 years old, bata. Siya yung pinakabata dito ngayon, no?
I'm Edsel Corpus. My racing number 71 and I'm 18 years old.
18 years old.
I'm Don Carlo Alvarado, racing number 128, 19 years old.
19 years old.
My name is Lyle Paulo B. Parica. My racing number is number 9. I am 15 years old.
My name is Kylio Wena Ignacio. Racing number 121, 17 years old.
Hi, my name is Mark Derek Condillo. Racing number 3. I'm 17 years old.
Hello, I'm Janen Francisco. My race number is number 8 and I'm 21 years old.
Hi, I'm Jamil Hernando. Racing number 952, 21 years old.
My name is Ronel Jan Francisco. Racing number 215. I'm 16 years old.
Hi, my name is Rafael Lance Ortiz. Racing number 93, 16 years old.
Well, I do believe meron tayong unang-unang naging recipient ng MBF. So, sino ba itong first recipient ng MBF Foundation?
The first recipient of the Riders Training Program of the Maiko Bunsho Foundation is Mr. Lawrence Villanueva.
Lawrence Villanueva. Ayan. Sir Lawrence, after ng itong MBF na to last year, ang balita ko, after the training, pumunta pa kayo ng Malaysia. Ano ba yung pinuntahan niyo ron?
Opo, katunayan po niyan, maging qualifier po ako sa Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup sa Malaysia, pero hindi ko pinalad na makuha. Nung pumasok po ako sa Maiko Bunsho Foundation, hindi pa ako masyadong hasa sa circuit racing. But nung nakapasok po ako and then trainings, nakapagtala po ako ng 3 titles, yung 135 Open 2 Bulbs, overall champion, second overall champion sa Honda Dash 1 Mate, UBK, and Honda Dash 1 Mate IR Cup.
So maganda yung naging resulta ng first recipient natin. What about EJ Sobretodo? Balita ko outgoing rider na rin siya for
actually,
MBF.
EJ Sobretodo is outgoing rider because one of the factory team interested in getting him to represent the factory team.
Ayun. So si EJ, na-interview na natin siya nung last episode. So EJ, ganun pa rin. Ano ba yung mga may bibigay mong tips sa mga batang gusto pa rin kumarera?
Ganun pa rin po. Balance diet po. Lagi pong healthy. Tapos nakikinig po sa coach, yung hindi po matigas yung ulo. Kung ano pong sinasabi ng coach, kailangan lang po talaga sundin. Kung hindi mo kaya, gumawa ka na lang po ng paraan. Kunyari po, may sira pa yung motor mo, ikaw na lang po mag-a-adjust sa sarili mo. Kasi po, simula nung, kunyari po, nag-qualifying kayo, sumemplang ka, may diferensya, hindi na po kayang ayusin. Ikaw dapat parang mag-a-adjust sa motor.
mag-a-adjust ko rin sa bike.
Kaya hindi yung sisisi yung mekaniko pag natalo ka. Dapat tanggapin mo na matatalo ka yung parang ano lang, laro-laro lang, parang naglalaro ka lang sa kalye, ng mga basketball. Ganun lang po.
Okay, so Goku, nakita ko rin may babaeng miyembro kasi ang na-interview natin ng last episode naman, yung second episode natin, si Jack Buncio, si Alicia, tsaka si Bethany. Dana, ikaw naman, yung sa mga babae na gustong pumasok sa mundo ng karera na kung saan dinodominate ng mga kalalakihan, ano naman na may papayo mo sa mga lady riders na gustong mag-race?
Po sa mga babae na gusto magmotor, push nyo lang po yan. Kaya-kaya nyo po yan. Kung kaya nga po ng lalaki, kaya rin ng babae.
Tama, very well said. Ito, pinakabata ngayon. Balita ko, siya ang 2013-2014 pocket bike champion. Mr. Lian? Lian, ikaw, nung nag-start ka magmotor, sino nagturo sa'yo?
Si Tito Jim po, siya kasi daddy ko po.
Si daddy mo. So mahilig din sa motor si daddy. Dati ba kumakarera si daddy?
Sintidor lang.
Siya, sintidor lang talaga. So ikaw, hindi ka ba natatakot pagka kumakarera ka?
Sa una po, natatakot po ako. Pero po, pag-practice lang po ng practice, okay na po.
Practice. Okay, so good, ano? Napaka, ng mga sagot ng mga bata kasi talagang nakikita mo yung focus sila doon sa ginagawa nila, no? Ang motorsports po, delikado po yan. Pero, syempre, may experience din yung mga rider natin pagdating sa mga semplang. So, may semplang din sila. Ano ba yung pinakamatinding naging semplang mo noon, yung mga time na yun?
Sa ano po, sa May Kawayan po.
May Kawayan.
Yung BMGP.
Okay.
Ilang beses po lumipad, tapos yun po.
Lipad, talagang lipad. So, ang alam ko, road race, circuit to eh. Sumasayad yung tuhod sa semento eh. Pero parang motocross siya tayo napasok niya.
Lumipad eh.
Lumipad, okay. So, Gox, paano makakasali ang isang interesadong bata sa MBF?
Actually, ganito lang yan. Unang-una, doon sa meron mga Facebook account, pa-like lang po yung Maiko Buncio Foundation Facebook account and the tribute to Maiko Buncio. Dalawa po yung aming Facebook account. Then after that, you can submit your profile through email or through Facebook itself, yung profile ng bata. At ang importante po dito, ang priority po namin, yung kailangan nag-aaral. Kasi po, yung Riders Training Program ay ginawa po namin para sa mga batang masipag mag-aral na mahilig magmotorsiklo o kumarera pero walang kakayahang gumastos. Kaya kumukuha po kami ng mga sponsors na mga tumutulong sa mga pangangailangan ng mga bata. Ganun lang po kasimple. Basta this year, kung last year nagtanggap kami nung medyo matataas yung edad from 16 pataas, this year po mag-stick na kami sa 16 to 9 years old kasi sobrang dami na nung sumasali. Kung wala naman pong katulong ng foundation, syempre malilimit yung mga matuturuan namin bata.
Yun, so napakaganda nung advocacy ng MBF, no? Because of the Philippine fastest man on two wheels na si Maiko Buncio. Isa kong kanyang advocacy rin is makatulong at na ma-uplift ang standard ng motorsports dito sa Pilipinas. So any thank your sponsors. Yung last 2014, sino yung sumuporta? Then for 2015, alam ko may mga nanonood tayong sponsors, baka gusto na suportahan yung MBF Foundation.
Last 2014, yung mga Riders Training Program natin, sa tulong mo rin, Sir Melakina ng MAP Rider Services, tinulungan tayo ng 3 manufacturer. Ito yung Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki. And sa helmet naman, lahat naman ng rider, hindi naman natin sila binigyan ng wall. Kung sino yung mag-support sa kanilang helmet as long as pumapasok siya sa standard. Yung safety kasi ng bata ang ingatan natin, open tayo dyan. So, iba't ibang klase ng helmet. Nandiyan yung LS2, KYT, NHK, KBC, lahat. No, basta lahat yan sinusuri natin para matiyak yung kaligtasan ng ating mga rider. And syempre, yung lubricant namin last year na tumulong sa MVF, lalo-lalo ng IRGP, is the Philips Cyclomax.
Philips Cyclomax. Ayan. So, any parting words sa mga riders natin? Okay ba kayo dyan, mga riders? So, maraming salamat, Mr. Goku Ortiz. At sana marami pa tayong matulungan na bata na maitaas ang standard ng racing or motorsport dito sa Pilipinas. Once again, I'm Mel Aquino. Ito po ang Featured Bikers of the Week. Never stop riding!
Rider Ciclista, I'm Tyran Hawk, and right now I'm here with the Kawasaki Riders Club of the Philippines. Good evening po sa inyo. Sir, pakilala po tayo.
Magandang gabi. Ako nga pala si Richard, current president of Kawasaki Riders Club of the Philippines since 2015.
Nico Villano, vice president of Kawasaki Riders Club of the Philippines.
Ako nga pala si Dennis Espeon, aka Moonshine. Sa grupo po ito, ako po yung pinakamatagal na po sa grupo.
Paano po ba nagsimula ang Kawasaki Riders Club of the Philippines? Pwede po bang kwentuhan nyo kami ng history po nito?
Sir, yung KRC po is na-establish po 2006. Nagsimula po kami tumambay sa Shelda Port. Nagsimula lang sa mga 5 hanggang lumipat kami ng tambayan sa Mactota Port Hill.
Ano po ba yung advocacy ng grupo po natin?
So yun ba, to promote yung road safety. Sa mga motorcycle. Kasi alam natin na masyadong maraming incident nangyayari. Tapos, pangalawa, invite namin yung lahat ng Kawasaki users. Tapos yung monthly, may rides kami. Tapos every Tuesday, may tambay kami. Ginagalan ko sa Petron Diego sila.
Okay, sir. So, bali po, ano po ba yung naging mga accomplishments ng inyong grupo?
Nagkaroon na rin kami ng sariling version ng charity. Nag-tree planting na po kami, Brigada Eskwela. Tapos may mga pinuntahan na rin kami mga orphanage. Donate kami ng mga toys, ganyan. Tapos party with the street kids. Tapos yung track day na rin. Tapos nagkaroon na rin kami ng mga safety seminars. Tapos ito yung huli, last year, yun yung most number ng participants of group na nakatapos ng Manila, Matnog, Manila.
Yung po ba yung tinatawag dating entry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So napakaganda pala ng grupo nyo, no? Not only you do rides, but you also do charity works as well.
What happened sa entry, lahat naman kami nakatapos na safe na lahat in one piece. And it's good enough. It's an accomplishment for the group.
Before pala maging member ng KRCP, you need to undergo trainings. Tama po ba? This is conducted by the Kawasaki Philippines.
Yes.
So napakaganda, no? So na-suportado tayo ng Kawasaki Philippines. Tanong ko lang po, paano ba maging member nito?
Official tambay lang sa Petron Diego silang. Tapos one official ride. Member ka na. Tapos maraming pakisama.
Bawal ang pikon and bawal ang killjoy. Yun lang. Yun ang dalawa. May gano'n sa Kawasaki.
Meron rin kayong mga track days, meron rin kayong mga parang mga preparation nyo para for the endurance race. And this is all sponsored and by Kawasaki. So yun yung kagandahan.
They sponsor yung oil filter, yung oil spark plugs, service maintenance.
So all of the participants of KRCP,
yes,
ini-sponsor nila yung yung maintenance.
Yes.
Ano po ba yung mga future events ninyo?
Sa second quarter, magkakaroon kami ng Marinduque ride. Explore namin yung buong island. Simpleng summer vacation, gano'n.
10 years na kayo next year. So it's 2016. So today is 9th year. So nagpe-prepare na kayo for the upcoming 10 years anniversary. Meron ba kayong FB page para makontak kayo?
Meron po kaming FB page. Actually sa Kawasaki Riders Club of the Philippines. Newbies and aspirants. Then then pwede sila magpa-add doon at reaction din naman agad namin. Doon lahat po naka-public naman yun. So mga events, upcoming events and about sa grupo, nandun lahat nakalagay.
From small bikes to big bikes, from ordinary standard bikes, lahat basta under the roof of Kawasaki, accepted. Kahit na ordinary tricycle driver lang ako, I can be a member. Talaga, sir. So, yun yung kagandahan, no? So, it doesn't mean na you're coming from a big bike and you will mean kasi usually, di ba, merong gap. Pero ang kagandahan ng KRCP, wholesome lahat. So it's not about bikes. So it's about you guys, no, bringing together, brotherhood. Hope to see you again, guys, sa inyong mga events, and good luck. Mga sikloista, kita-kita po tayo next week sa ating Club Feature of the Week. Ako po si Titan Hawk, ang inyong lingkod. Ito po ang Motorcycle News Talk Show.
Mga sikloista, nandito na naman tayo ngayon sa Featured Motorcycle of the Week. Kasama naman natin ngayon si Mr. Michael Corpus at nandito ngayon ang kanyang bagong-bagong 2014 Yamaha Fino. Magandang araw sa iyo, Mr. Michael.
Magandang araw din, Mel.
Ayan. Sir Mike, bigyan niyo naman ako ng konting review dito sa motor natin. Ito ay noong 2014 lumabas.
Tama.
Ang motorsiklo na to.
Bale, unang-una dahil gusto kong ma-maintain yung classic look niya. So yung mga dati niyang chrome, dinagdagan ko lang ng mga iba pang chrome side. So, meron diyang sa headlight, meron doon sa mga blinkers niya, and chrome garnish lahat. Tapos pati yung sa side mirror niya.
So, ito kasama to sa accessories?
Ito yung stock niya na dati, pero itong mismong ito, dati siyang brown, kasama nung kulay ng iba, tapos ginawa ko na rin chrome.
So, ginawa mo na rin siyang chrome?
Tapos yan, yung mga sides, yung tip, itong side, tsaka syempre yung purpose
niya.
Yeah.
So, nilagay mo siya ng parang utility box sa likod.
Yes.
So, ano ba yung pinakamalayo na ibiyahe na itong motor niyo?
Sa ngayon, hindi pa masyadong malayo. Balikan pa lang sa service sa office.
Service sa office. Matipid po ba sa gasolina? Ano po ba ang nakukonsume nyo?
Yun ang mapapatunayan natin yung dahil fuel-injected nga siya. So,
it's a fuel-injected motorcycle. So, wala na siyang karburador?
Wala na siyang karburador.
Okay. So, matipid siya sa gas?
Matipid siya sa gas. Hindi ka bababa sa 40 kilometers per liter.
Per liter.
Mataas yun. No? So, up to 50 kaya niya. Depende kung may back ride o wala.
Napansin ko, naging kakaiba ngayon itong motor nyo. Meron ba nagbagong modification sa makina?
Sa makina, wala pa.
Wala pa. So, purely stock siya?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay naman siyang gamitin? Convenient pa kayo gamitin siya for everyday use?
Yeah. Actually, nagustuhan ko sa Fino yung masyado siyang light, dalhead. Unlike yung mga ibang motor.
So, yung handling niya magaan siya?
Magaan siya.
So, convenient gamitin?
Yes.
Well, bakit Fino? Bakit maraming ibang scooter dyan? Bakit Yamaha Fino ang napili?
Last year din kasi, early last year, nag-purchase din ako ng iba pang motor and nandun yung futuristic look sa motor na yon. So ngayon, pinili naman namin yung classic. And at the same time, I wanted to teach my wife to ride a motorcycle. And ito yung size na para sa kanya.
Kumbaga, abot niya yung motorsiklo. Tsaka automatic, madaling gamitin.
Twist and go.
Twist and go, wala na. Mahilig din talaga kayo mag-ride.
Yes. It's enjoyable. Aside dun sa naiiwasan mo yung traffic,
mas convenient gamitin.
Mas convenient gamitin. Tapos tumipid pa.
So mga kaibigan, we have Mr. Michael Corpus on a new Fino 2014 model. Walang masyadong modifications na ginawa sa makina. More on talagang classic look. Once again, thank you very much, Sir Mike.
Thank you, Mel.
Salamat sa mga siklista. Ito po ang Featured Motorcycle of the Week. Siklistas, my name is Mel Aquino.
At ako naman si JB.
And ito ang Featured Bike of the Week. Sir Jobert, this is a new bike. Medyo kakaiba to ha. Ang laki na ito. So, ano ba itong motorsiklo na to?
This is Maxim 400i.
Wow. So, pagka sinabing I, it is fuel injected.
Yes. This is actually 24.35 cubic inches.
Wow. So, napakalaki pala na itong scooter to. I saw a lot of scooters, pero this bike is design na talagang malaki. Pwede ba siya sa expressway?
Actually, pasok na siya sa expressway. In fact, tomorrow, I will be taking this scooter up Baguio City all the way to Sagada over the weekend. So, matetesting natin ang hustong motorsiklo na to.
Wow. Pero yung scooter na to is a 400cc, ibig sabihin napaka-komportable at saka convenient gamitin to.
Yung torque niya is actually around 33.9 Nm and ang horsepower niya is 35 horsepower.
Wow.
So,
napakalakas na.
Malakas yung motor. I mean, for the size and for the weight. it feels like ang dala mo maliit na kargadong motorsiklo.
Wow, so etong seat height niya, sir, gaano kataas tong seat height na to?
The height of the bike is actually 1400 millimeters, so that's 55.1 inches.
So ngayon,
for anybody who's around 5'6", kayang-kaya ng dali itong motor na to.
Eksakto, 5'6 ako. Tingnan natin ha, sasakyan ko itong bike na to ha. I'm 5'6 feet. Uy, magaan siya ha. Napaka-komportabling gamitin.
It's designed for Filipino riders talaga.
Wow. So ang SYM or yung SIM, it is ano company to, sir? It's
Taiwanese company.
Wow.
Actually, SIM is one of the best manufacturers for scooters, namely Maxi scooters in Europe. Tapos nag-market na sila sa Asia.
Yes.
Tapos malaki din ang market natin dito sa Pilipinas for SIM motorcycles.
Wow. Pero as you can see, nakita mo, sinasakyan ko siya. And abot yung pa ako. It's a relaxed riding comfort. Pati yung optimized riding posture. Mapapansin yung pantay yung braso. So madali siyang iliko.
Very comfortable siya talaga.
Very comfortable. So sa nakita natin, sir, meron na siyang ilaw dito. Meron na siyang mga...
may mga GV boxes na siya.
GV boxes na. So ano to, sir? If you buy a SIM 400 Maxim, kasama to optional parts to?
These are optional parts actually.
Okay. Optional parts.
These lights are also optional. In-add-on na lang to ng ating may-ari. By the way, thank you, Attorney Dendan Calderon, for letting us borrow your Maxim. At dadalhin ko pa to sa Sagada tomorrow. So add-ons na lang to.
Add-on na lang. May lagay ng tubig, may lagay ng cellphone or GPS. Talagang makikita nyo may option na side mirror. Ang dami, maganda. Parang kotse na rin, no?
Parang kotse na rin siya. And the mere fact that it is an EFI engine, it actually rides around 27 to 28 kilometers to a liter.
Wow.
Matipid siya considering na 400cc siya.
Okay siya. Special features siya, meron siyang mga compartments dito. No?
Marami siyang
compartments. Natin, marami siyang pwedeng ilagay.
May RPM siya, speedometer, may trip meter siya.
Yes.
Yung mga standard features niya, it features dual disc optional ABS for front.
That's one safety feature, yeah.
Disc brake din siya sa likod.
Disc brake front and rear.
So the stopping power of this motorcycle is really good.
So the controls also is very simple. Madaling i-check yung speedometer, yung RPM, yung fuel gauge, temperature, kompleto siya. Meron
nothing
engine
distracting.
switch.
Hindi siya nakaka-distract.
Exactly, yung utility box niya, silipin natin, sir, kung gaano kalaki ang laman niya. So, paano binubuksan yung likuran?
Meron tayong button dito sa handlebar.
Okay.
And meron tayong key option to open. You just push and then twist. Pero right now, ang opening natin is through push button.
Tumulong na siya, no? So, silipin natin yung ilalim. Wow, napakalaki ng compartment niya. Siguro, pwede ka na maglagay dito ng tanghalian, tsaka hapunan.
Oo.
Tsaka a full-size helmet can fit actually here in the compartment area, yung seat compartment niya. So, as we can see, meron din siya sa likod, no? So, parang dalawang helmet yata ang kasya rito.
Dalawang helmet ang kasya dyan, but that's an optional box.
Optional accessories din.
The side carriers are also optional. Dinagdag na lang yan ang may-ari ng motorsiklo.
Ito ay Euro
3 standard with EPA, DOT, and CARB specs.
Standards.
Standards.
So, ibig sabihin, mga kaibigan, ito ay pasado sa mga emission test. So, wala kayong magiging problema. It's a motorcycle, environment-friendly. Ayan.
Tama.
Ayos pala to eh. So, sa tingin niyo, sir, magkano nagre-range ang presyo na itong SYM?
It's around 300,000 plus.
Okay.
Okay. At least hindi siya 1,000 per cc.
Okay.
So, the
Mura
value for a scooter, a maxi scooter, na pwede mong ipasok sa expressway, is talagang bang for the buck.
Bang for the buck. Oh. If you're interested, you can check out the SYM dealers regarding the SYM Maxim 400i. It's an EFI motorcycle, environment-friendly, magaan sa gasolina, powerful, at very convenient gamitin. So this is the SYM Maxim 400i. So, ito na po, Sir Jobert. So, ready na kayo bukas?
Ready na. Actually, I'm taking off at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Stopping over at Baguio City for an overnighter. And then Saturday, pupunta na tayo ng Sagada for another overnighter. And then going back home, magsa-Cervantes kami. And then La Union, going back to Manila.
Wow. So, abangan natin yung review ni Sir Jobert dito sa motorsiklo na to. We'll be giving a follow-up review of the SIM Maxim 400i. See you, Ciclistas.
Hi, Ciclistas! Chiklovistas! Nandito po tayo sa kusina ni Chef Inday para sa menu of the month. So I'm here with Miss Teresa Bayoneta, our Chef Inday. Good afternoon, Chiklovistas! So Chef Inday, ano pong pinapare nating menu for the month?
Chicken adobo with quail egg.
Wow! Masarap yan, Chiklovistas! So Chef Inday, ano po yung mga kailangan na ingredients para sa chicken adobo with quail eggs?
2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 10 pieces of bay leaves, 10 pieces of garlic, vinegar, 1 cup of soy sauce, 20 pieces of quail egg, 1.5 kilo chicken.
Yung 1.5 kilo po of chicken, good for how many person?
6 person.
6 person. So magkano po ang budget for this chicken adobo?
210 pesos.
Wow! 210 pesos lang, Chiklovistas. Nakakatipid po tayo doon. So, paano po tayo mag-start para sa chicken adobo?
Chicken muna. Sa saute pan.
Chicken sa saute pan.
Manok. Soy sauce. 1 cup na soy sauce. Vinegar. 1 cup vinegar. Sukal. Lalat. Walang ginisa mix to, ha? Only the sugar.
Ilang cups of water?
Aapaw dito sa manok.
Pag ganyan po, ano yung heat niya? Medium? High?
Medium.
Medium, okay. So, how many minutes po siya kapag ipapakuluan?
1 hour.
1 hour pong papakuluan. Okay.
Masarap.
Okay. Aside from chicken, anong pwede pang ipalit? Pwede ba siyang pork?
Pwede.
Tapos, if ever, matagal ba siya bago mapalis? Kasi yung mga riders, mostly dinadala nila pag naglo-long drive, baon nila. Pwede siya as pack lunch or pack dinner. Ganun.
Pwede siya. 2 days siya bago siya masiba. Kasi mayroon siyang acid. Acid. Yun yung nag-ano sa kanya para ma-preserve yung pagkain.
Tsaka mas masarap po kapag, ang adobo daw, mas masarap kapag mas matagal.
Exactly.
Aside from dahon ng laurel, anong pwedeng substitute po? Wala.
Wala. Yan lang talaga siya. Kung wala ka talaga makita, garlic is okay.
Okay. Okay lang kahit walang dahon ng laurel.
Okay lang. Sa akin, yung adobo ko, niluluto ko siya, pinapalamot ko muna, tapos ipa-fry ko muna siya. Tapos ko siya nung pakuluin, hanggang malambot na, ipa-fry ko siya. Tapos, yung, yung sauce niya, i-ano ko sa na hanggang kumuhante. I-adjust ko yung
So, nanunood po yung sauce niya dun sa chicken. So, sarap to the bone.
Yes. Pag nakikita mo ng malambot na yung manok, yun, pwede mo siyang tanggalin.
Tapos lalagay na para sa prito. Chicken adobo with quail eggs by Chef Inday.
Isayang masayang araw sa inyo mga sikloista. Ako po si Titan Hawk at samahan niyo ako sa maghapong ito at ating libutin ang lalawigan ng Batangas at Cavite kung saan pwede nating magpuntahan at ang iba't ibang mga simbahan at tanawin. Ito po ang Lenten season ng Motorsiklo News Talk Show. Halika na at ako inyong samahan. nandito po tayo sa bayan ng Poblasyon 1 dito sa Silang, Cavite. At nasa likod ko po ngayon ang simbahan po ng Silang kung saan po ang mahal na Birhen ng Candelaria ang makikita po natin.
Simbahan ng Silang, or Our Lady of Candelaria Parish, about 37 kilometers from Bicutan where we started our journey. This church was established by Franciscan missionaries in 1595. The first church was built in 1603, but later rebuilt in stone from 1637 to 1639. Dedicated to the patronage of Nuestra Señora de Candelaria in 1604. The church's interior design was Rococo-influenced retables, and you can find this historic church at J. Rizal Street, Silang, Cavite.
Ito ang Franciscan Missionary of Mary Immaculate Heart Convent.
Franciscan Missionaries of Mary Immaculate Heart Convent is a small church located in San Jose, Tagaytay. It is nondescript with its plain-looking architecture among the tall pine trees in the compound. The interiors, on the other hand, had some sort of a divider to separate the nuns from the common churchgoers. Just in front of the newly constructed City Land condominium in Tagaytay City. It is a cool and solemn place to reflect, especially in this Lenten season break.
Hi, Ciclista! Isa po sa mga pwede nating puntahan dito sa Tagaytay City ay dito po sa Barangay Sungay East, kung saan makikita po natin ang imahen ng Our Lady of Manawag dito lang po sa Tierra de Maria.
We then headed to another historic and beautiful place of worship in Tagaytay, Tierra de Maria, formerly known as Nuestra Señora del Santísimo Rosario de Manawag, or in English, Our Lady of the Most Holy Rosary of Manawag, who is known for the patroness of the sick. Many who was sick believed that they were cured by the lady. This church was originally located in Pangasinan, but this half the replica in Tagaytay is called Tierra de Maria Chapel and is the most visited church here in the Philippines in the 16th century by our very own Padre Juan de San Jacinto with the original image of the Lady. A traditional healing mass since 2004 was celebrated every Saturday. You will also find here the fish spa, where you can dip your feet in and have the fishes brushed against them for 100 pesos.
Hi there, Ciclista! Nandito nga tayo ngayon sa Mayridge, Tagaytay, kung saan isa pa sa magagandang location ang pwede nyo puntahan ngayong Lenten season.
A few hundred meters we headed to Mary Ridge, a place of healing and renewal Good Shepherd Sisters. The serene and holy place really is so comforting as you see the sceneries in front of you, viewing the Taal Lake in splendor. Calm and peaceful, where you can reflect and talk to God. The convent people and their sisters are really nice to all the visitors, urging everyone to relish the place of worship with family and friends, while at the same time enjoying the view.
Ito ang Our Lady of Lourdes Parish. Tara, halika, samahan niyo ako at ating kilalanin ng simbahan ito.
The fifth church we visited in Tagaytay was the Our Lady of Lourdes Parish. Located just by the highway, this church is big and the parking space is wide, and we believe that this was the biggest church we have visited. We chanced upon newlyweds having their photos taken by photographers armed with flying drones to capture the moments dramatically. We figured this will be a very good place to accommodate large group of riders for the Lenten season ride. A very cool interior even with your ride jackets on. This church is a relaxing place to talk to God together with all your clubmates.
Hi, Ciclista! Nandito tayo ngayon sa isa sa mga kilalang simbahan dito sa Tagaytay. Ito yung tinatawag nilang Little Souls Sisters Chapel. So, halika, samahan niyo ako at ating tingnan ang ganda nito.
We then headed for the Little Souls Sisters Convent. The chapel is located off Mahogany Avenue. With its peach-colored theme, it really is refreshing both inside and feel. The church seats are soft and comfortable, and given the cool Tagaytay weather, this sure is a great place to visit this Lenten break. You can find a prayer request box where you can drop your written prayers on the available papers provided to you. The convent sisters will help pray for you. Great, right? Parking is also spacious and safe. You can also buy from the souvenir store where you can find religious items, ice cream, with some ice candies too. Love this chapel.
Hi there, Ciclista! Nandito nga tayo ngayon sa Barangay Sungay West, Tagaytay City, kung saan matatagpuan po natin ang isa sa mga kilalang simbahan dito sa Tagaytay. Ito po ang Ina ng Laging Saklolo Church. Halika kayo, samahan niyo ako at ating kilalanin ang simbahang ito.
The last church we visited, still here in Tagaytay, was the Our Mother of Perpetual Help, Ina ng Laging Saklolo Church. It was said that this is the busiest church in terms of weddings. It sure is a beautiful church you need to visit while you're here in Tagaytay. The ambience is a mood of reflection and love and gives warmth to your spirit in the cold Tagaytay weather. Everywhere you look will remind you of peace and connection with God and nature. The Cavite Tagaytay churches really are wonderful, especially when you go visit it with your ride buddies or just with your significant other. Remember, Cicloistas, that in this Lenten season, let us offer our time to the Lord and reflect on all the blessings He gave us through the years, especially to the safety He has given us through all the times we are on our motorcycles. Happy Lenten season to all of you, Cicloistas!
Hi, Ciclistas! My name is Mel Aquino.
Hi, I'm Jack Moonshaw.
And this is Food and Touring segment. Right now, kasama po pa rin natin ang mga grupo ng Uhaw kung saan ay papakilala nila sa atin yung kanilang business venture.
As kayo po, as yung friends nyo, as riding, paano nyo po come up the idea na gawin siyang business?
Kasi yung passion po talaga namin is riding and touring the country. So, sa ilang years na namin na nagtutour ng country, ako po, more than 30 years na ako nag-ride, may ikot ng bansa, nakita na po namin kung saan yung pinakamagagandang lugar dito sa atin at saan pinakamasarap ang pagkain, saan pwedeng dali ng turista. Doon na po nabuo, doon na po yung kanya-kanyang experience ng mga riders ng Uhaw, doon namin nabuo kung para magkaroon ng negosyo na MAPI. Pangalawa, naubusan na rin kami ng excuse sa asawa na magpaalam. So, gumawa kami ng negosyo na ang pangalan ng Motorcycle Adventure Philippine Islands para understood na ng asawa. Pag, saan kayo punta? May trabaho lang po kami. Diretso na po yun.
So, ang business is Motorcycle Adventures Ride the Philippine Islands with the best.
Kami po, meron po kaming trained na tourist guide at ano rin po sila, motorcycle instructor.
Motorcycle riding instructors.
Yes, kaya yung safety po kasi ng riders sa kayong guest namin, talagang inaalagaan po namin yan.
So, halimbawa, dumating sila rito, paano yung programa?
Bale po, ang foreigner po dadating dito. Dito po meron, yung office po namin nandito sa may Manila Airport Hotel, sa may Terminal 3. Doon po sila magre-report, mag-overnight, and then the next day po, i-orient namin sila sa pupuntahan, i-ride test po namin kung talagang marunong magmotor. Okay. And then, kung saan nila gusto pumunta, Tagaytay, Banawe Rice Terraces, Ilocos, Boracay, pwede. Ang rates po namin, nakikita nyo sa website. Yung website namin is www.motorcycleadventures.ph. kasama na sa package yung food, yung gasolina, yung hotels, yung fees, yung tourist fees, kung ano man ang babayaran, kasama na po sa package lahat.
Yung riders, they are all insured. Depende sa length of rental sila. Let's say 3-day rental. So 3 days yung coverage but they have to add a little premium dun sa rentals.
So open to sa mga foreigners, no? Pero how about the local riders na gusto lang umikot sa Pilipinas, na gusto lang magmotor pero they want to avail the packages?
Hindi po restricted sa mga foreigners lang ito. Although yung prices namin sa website ay usually in dollars, you can do the conversion para ma-convert ito sa peso.
So, Ciclovistas, ito ay hindi lang for foreigners, ito ay open for all the riders or yung mga gusto talagang umikot sa buong Pilipinas. So where can we contact you? Do you have any cell phone numbers, contact numbers?
We have our website, yun nga yung www.motorcycleadventures.ph. Tsaka we have our own Facebook page, Motorcycle Adventures Philippine Islands.
That's our segment for today. This is Mr. Mel Aquino.
Hi, I'm Jack Bunjo.
And this is Foods and Touring segment. Hi, my name is Mel Aquino.
Ako si Jack Bunjo.
I am JB.
And ito po ang aming Food and
Touring
segment. So right now, we're going to talk about the touring, kung saan ang ating kaibigan JB ay bumiyahe from Manila to Baguio, going to the highest point, then back to Baguio, then back to Manila.
Sir Jopard, kamusta yung biyahe mo?
It was fast and furious, actually. It was my first time to ride the expressway solo.
Solo? Wala kang kasama?
Wala akong kasama.
Wala kang kasamang iba, Timano, ride lang.
Yes. And I was able to do it because ang mabuting kaibigan natin si Attorney Dendan Calderon. Maxim na 400cc. He was kind enough to lend me his scooter to bring all the way up to the highest point.
Exactly, yun yung pinag-feature natin last time. The bike itself is a 400cc scooter.
Yes. And I'm very happy to report na na-test ko na rin sa finally, on the highway, on the twisties of Baguio, and the high altitudes of Atok and the highest point. And alam mo, try as I might, naghahanap ako ng negative comment dun sa motor.
So
parang wala akong mahanap na negative comment.
Almost perfect yung bike,
Actually, power to weight ratio, the center of balance ng motorsiklo, napakaganda eh. I mean, yung control niya, it didn't feel like a maxi scooter. It felt more like I was riding a performance scooter. Kasi hindi ako lumalabas when going into turns. Minsan pa nga, parang mas gusto pa niya mag-oversteer. So you have that amount of control and amount of feel sa harap na very confident ka. The brakes are superb. Talagang
pagka gusto mo tumigil, patitigilin.
Papatigilin ka talaga. And most of the time kasi pagka maxi scoot, sa bigat kasi niyan, di ba? It's very hard to stop these bikes.
But as they can see last time that we featured that bike, it's very huge, it's very big, but it's very light,
Oo, actually. And then, actually, come to think of it, meron lang ako isang naging problema. Kulang yung luggage space ko sa dinami-dami na pasalubong na inuwi ko.
So, siguro yung luggage space is very big. You can put anything on under the seat, the compartment.
Malaki siya. Actually, yung camera equipment that I brought with me is there. And the viewers can actually see the pictures and the videos. Nakikita niya na ngayon. So, the camera equipment is there. I had 2 side luggages. And then I have a top box also. So, I had plenty of space.
So we talk about this scooter. It's an EFI, and I know that some motorcycles going to higher altitudes, nagbabago yung yung air fuel mixture.
So with the Maxim naman, wala naman naging problema, with occasional backfire, pero hindi nagbago yung takbo niya, hindi nagbago yung torque niya, hindi nagbago yung speed niya. It remained the same. Okay. So the engine never gave me any problems, even on high altitudes. And at the same time, syempre, I enjoyed the twisties very much. I thought, nung una, I thought magiging boring ride eh. Kasi I was using a maxi scooter. So dapat easy lang. Pero hindi. I was attacking the curves. And actually, nung kinukwento ko nga kay attorney yung biyahe paakyat, medyo pinipigilan na niya ako eh. Easy ka lang, maawa ka sa motor ko. So it was a very fun ride. I had a very good time with the riders of Baguio, and I met with people who actually rode from Caloocan going there. So sila yung kasama ko sa taas, sa Atok. And then I also had the opportunity to feature a ride organized by the Northern Rider Society. Nagkaroon sila ng sympathy ride for SAF 44. So na-document natin yan. We have pictures to show also, videos also. Yeah, there was about 100, 120 halo-halo, small bikes, big bikes. Nandun ang Lerap North, andun ang Zip Riders.
So riders really unite for this?
Oo, nag-unite. Yun ang one thing na maganda na nangyayari na sa community natin. Everybody's uniting, regardless of what kind of motorcycle you use. Okay? So lahat yan nagsasama-sama. In fact, you know, even the racers, I see them from time to time na biyahe, umakit ng bundok. So the trip was very good. We maintained the speed limit kahit papano, even with a very powerful maxi scooter on our hands. Ano? So the trip going up was very, very good. The roads through Quezon, safe. Wala tayong naging problema sa high altitude. All the way to Atok, Mount Atok, to the highest point. Oo. Napakaganda na scenery, napakaganda ng view. And of course, with the maxi scooter, you get to enjoy the scenery talaga. I also got to sample the maxi scooter with a back ride. So, na-feel nila kung gaano ka-comfortable na maging pasahero sa isang maxi scoot. So, overall, it was a very, very relaxing ride. Ano? Hindi ako nakaramdam ng pagod. Oo. That's the advantage of riding a big bike. No? Medyo bawas din yung pagod at the same time because of the comfort. As far as fuel consumption is concerned, surprisingly, I got to 22 kilometers to a liter on the maxi scoot.
Wow, it's for a 400cc motorcycle, yung 22 km per liter, mga siklista, matipid po yun.
Matipid, actually, oo. So, hindi ako nag-worry sa aking fuel budget. We stayed in a house na napakaganda, actually, very near the Botanical Gardens at 300 pesos a night.
300 pesos a night.
Oo, ganun lang kamura.
Also, and we should check this out. Para, Jack, punta tayo ron.
May dalawang 1,000, you can go there, mabubuhay ka na.
Mabubuhay ka na talaga.
At ang pagkain mo, puro gulay lang, nahihingi pa sa kapitbahay.
Correct. Actually, ito pa nga we also went to the strawberry farm.
Wow.
Okay, so binisita natin ang strawberry farm, nandyan yung pictures. Na-experience natin yung naglalakad ka sa strawberry fields, dampot ka lang, kain ka lang, you know.
Habang wala ng strawberry fields forever.
At hindi pa uminto doon, di ba? Umakyat kami ng La Presa.
La Presa is...
Binisita namin ang... Yes!
Very, controversial yung La Presa na yan. Hindi ko pa napupuntahan yan, pero talagang mukhang...
Wow, grabe. Yung kapal ng usok, ng fog sa taas, sobrang taas. At ito pa, umakyat kami ng La Presa. Siyempre, nandun din ang strawberry fields, ano? Meron sa La Presa, meron sa baba, sa Trinidad. Pero pag akyat namin sa taas, hindi kami huminto sa fresh strawberry. Kumain pa ako ng strawberry ice cream.
Wow! Ang lamig na nag-ice cream ka pa.
Actually, baliktad. Pagka kumain ka ng ice cream, hindi. You feel right at home.
Wow, parang
yun yung effect niya. Oo, yun yung effect niya sa atin. So, yun, mga kaibigan, the trip was very good. Hindi siya nakakaligaw, so you don't have to fear. So from Baguio, you go down the Trinidad, and then you start your climb up Mount Atok. So, ganun lang kasimple. And then going around Baguio, simple lang. So next time you want to ride, you let us know. You can contact Motorcycle News Talk Show. Email is right there. So if you have questions on accommodations, places to go, the route and all that, you can ask your questions. We will be more than happy to answer them. So on our next trip, we hope to see you again.
Yes, mga kaibigan, once again, I'm Mel Aquino.
Ako si Jack Bunsho.
JB.
At ito po ang Food and
Touring.
At natapos na naman mga siklista ang isang episode ng ating Motorcycle News Talk Show. So, na-enjoy ka ba, Jack?
Super enjoy.
Super, no? Ang dami natin
Super.
natutunan ngayong araw na ito. Taga saya-saya. Okay. So, paano nga pala mga siklista kung gusto nyo mag-promote ng mga events, mga products, new products to be released in the market, you can contact us at telephone number 0942-834-0824.
Or 0927-865-3864.
At you can contact our landline 02-509-4294.
Pwede rin po kayo mag-email sa motorcyclenewsmagazine@gmail.com.
At syempre, you can visit our website at motorcyclenewsmagazine.com.
And give us a like in our FB page sa Motorcyclo News Mag, or follow us sa Twitter @Ciclonista.
That's SIKLOWISTA. So, muli po mga siklista, hanggang sa susunod na episode ng Motorcycle News Talk Show.
And also, we have the motorcycle maintenance thief. Anong thief? We have the motorcycle maintenance thief. Thief talaga! Bakit ganon? Tips! Tips!
Yung last week episode natin ay kay Arnis po. Isa na lang. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Mel Aquino. Ulit tayo. Hi, Jack.
Hi po.
Buti hindi tayo napababa sa aeroplano. Kung nasa aeroplano tayo, paupayin tayo, ano?
Pwede.
Kasi hi, Jack.
Yeah.
Alright.
Kasi, wait, nahiya ako eh. Nahiya ako.
Okay lang yun. Ano ka ba? Baptismo pa yan nga eh.
Na one-on-one ako. Wait.
Mga siklistas, ako nga pala si Mr. Mel Aquino at kasama ko ngayon, walang iba kundi ang Super Bike Godder. Pero mga siklistas, nandito na ulit tayo sa ating events. Okay? Tama ba? Sa exit na ako. Ano ba yung exit natin? Ulitin natin.